this is Candy with eyes2jesus.blogspot.com, and welcome this evening to my kitchen. I have supper cooking right now. I have something in the oven, I have something going on the stove, and I'm going to have to prep more food for supper. But meanwhile, I'm waiting for some things to cook for supper. I'm doing my food preps for the day. And I have 3 things that I am doing for my food preps today, and one of that is making a big batch of homemade granola. Now, I've had many requests in the past for me to share how I'm currently making my granola, so that's what I thought I would do today. So to get started, I took a very large bowl, and in here I put in 6 cups of oats. Now, right now I'm using quick oats, but I've also used old-fashioned oats, and I haven't seen any difference between quick oats or old-fashioned. I just use whatever I have. So, in the bowl, 6 cups of oats. And then to that, I'm going to add 4 teaspoons of cinnamon. And then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt, and I like to use sea salt. I'm going to take the same measuring cup I'm probably just going to use again that I used to dish out the oats. I'm going to fill this halfway with coconut oil, so I'm going to go grab that. It's a cold winter day, so my coconut oil is solid, so I'm going to need to dish it out with a spoon. I'm just going to scoop that on in there. Now I'm going to do a cup of honey. I'm going to measure up 1 cup of honey, and I use pure raw honey, somewhat locally sourced. 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and I use pure real vanilla extract. Then I'm just going to grab a spoon and stir this before I add more stuff. Alright, so here's what it's looking like currently. Add 2 cups of raisins. This is feeling pretty light. Let me see if I have more raisins. And I do. Fabulous. Alright, so that's 1 cup and 2 cups. Alright, so shredded coconut, you can use sweetened or unsweetened. I prefer unsweetened. When I can't find it, I just use sweetened. This one is sweetened. So 1 cup of shredded coconut. And then here is the fun part. These next parts I don't really measure. I got some chia seed. I'm just going to sprinkle some in. Actually, yeah, I'm going to just sprinkle some in for what looks good. That looks good. Then I have some sliced almonds. I love sliced almonds. I'm just going to grab a handful of that and pop that in. And then I have some whole brown flax seeds. And I'm just going to sprinkle or pour some of that into what looks good to me. There we go. And then if you have any other dried fruits or any other nuts or seeds you want to add, maybe you can try hemp seeds or whatnot. I've never tried them. If you like pumpkin seeds, I don't, or any other dried fruits, feel free to add them. So here's now what it looks like. So I need to get this all mixed together. Now I have it all mixed together. And it takes a while. You really want to work on mixing it well. Now, on my counter, I have 2 baking pans. I guess these are 13 by 11s, 2 glass 13 by 11s. If you have a really, really big, like roasting type pan, you can use that too. My current oven is small, so 13 by 11 is actually the biggest I can fit on there per shelf. So I have 2 shelves in my oven, so I'm going to divide this up between 2 13 by 11 glass baking pans. They're not buttered, greased, or anything. Just going to divide it in there. Alright, so now I have them poured out into both pans, and I'm going to use the back of my big mixing spoon, and I am pressing these into the pans. And this is kind of an important thing. It's going to help with the consistency of your granola later. So after they're spread out between your 2 pans or in your 1 big pan, press it down in the pan with the back of your spoon. I am going to save my big bowl and this spoon, and I'm just going to set these to the side. This bowl has a lid that came with it, which is fabulous. I'll be using it. If your big bowl does not have a lid, just some saran wrap or presser seal or whatever on top will be good later. But for now, I'm setting this to the side. I want to make sure I don't accidentally wash it. I'm not done with this yet. Now, I have a salmon loaf for supper in the oven right now, so that's set to come out in about 19 minutes. Once that comes out, I'm going to set my oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I will then pop both of these pans in there, one per shelf, because my oven is small. And I'm going to cook it probably for about 12 minutes, and then I'm going to go in there and switch their shelves, switch their positions, and then go for another 13 minutes or so. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do after they come out of the oven. They both just came out of the oven, so the next step is I'm just going to leave them here and I'm going to let them cool either completely or just down to warm. So I want them down to just warm or room temperature before I do the next step, and that is important. They have both cooled down to room temperature. So for the next step, what I do is I take a really big fork and I just start, and do this slowly or granola is going to fly all over the kitchen. I just start loosening it from the pan. I am not breaking it up into small pieces. I'm letting it stay clumpy. And this is also why when you press it into the pan with the back of your mixing spoon, it compresses it in there. Because I don't know about you, but I like having a nice clumpy, lumpy granola. So I'm just going to gently do this with both pans, and then I'm going to just pour both of these back into my large bowl. And here it is in the bowl. Your really big clumps, you can just break down into smaller clumps to however you like it. And I am now just going to pop a container on this bowl, and I'm just going to leave it sitting out on the kitchen counter. And my family and I, we're going to have this tomorrow morning for breakfast. And I usually like to serve it in a bowl with some milk, eating it cereal style. And I'm going to serve some fresh blueberries on the side, which can be eaten separately or added to the granola cereal. So that's how I've been making granola, and we really enjoy it. Have a blessed day.